Try to take one ride around in my body, Can't say I saw you around when I started. I'm a hometown hero, that's a far that I came, but I never knew if it would fall into place. I became what I wanted, and I'm still on the way. Ain't coming home the way I left it, this time something's different. Ain't coming home the way I left it, this time it's my city. Ain't coming home the way I left it, this time something's different. Ain't coming home the way I...
Hello everybody and welcome to the vlog. My name is Elena. I'm a K-5 behavior special education teacher in the state of Iowa, and this is me getting my pink back.
All my same goals but got my same jokes. Yes, I came up but I ain't changed though. Just my hometown knows my name now.
I decided to title that today's video because I just wanted to take a moment for all the postpartum moms, or all the moms who have just really dove into being a mom and felt like they've lost themselves along the way, that I'm here with you. I see you, I feel that, and there are things that I'm learning that we can do to get back to feeling like ourselves again, and I just wanted to dedicate some time to talking about that. I am now 6.5 months postpartum, and I've learned a lot, so much actually, in that amount of time. So I just wanted to take some time today to dedicate to that. Another reason this is the vlog that's getting posted for this week is because I am still trying to figure out what my recording schedule is going to be for the next 5 weeks. I have a student teacher with me, which means from bell to bell, or until I'm gone, they're told that they have to be at school while their cooperating teacher is at school. So I am not ever in the classroom alone, and that was already really tight because I work literally only my contract hours, maybe 5 minutes before and maybe 5 minutes after, and then that would be the time that I would vlog at school. But because I have all the associates and support staff that work in my room, when they're there, I don't record. I don't record much during the day either because I'm not recording my students either. So yeah, now having a student teacher who is very specifically supposed to be there, watching, observing me, asking me questions, I'm teaching them through the day too. It is just, an added factor to the day that I cannot record while I'm at school now, because the couple of minutes that I had through the day to start, I don't have anymore. Also, I'm going to make it known that everything that you saw in clips so far and anything I'm filming, you can hear my daughter right now. I'm going to need to pay attention to her. You okay, sweetheart? I'm doing it with her on the floor next to me playing, so she's allowing me to talk, but you might hear her in the background. She has become really good at, I don't want to call it independent play because I'm right here. It's hard for me to get very far away from her, but she can be pretty calm and settled just sitting and playing, and I don't have to be directly playing with her, which I think is a wonderful skill, and I'm thankful for that because that is a huge factor into how I'm able to kind of work back in some time for myself again and figure out what it means for me to get my pink back. And yes, pun intended, that's why I put on my little pink workout set for this video. So I'm just gonna back up a little bit and say I have found so much joy and true life, like God-given purpose in being a mother that I didn't know existed until this last year of us having our family, adopting our son in August, 5 days later having my daughter. And while it is a huge life change all of a sudden to go from having no kids to all of a sudden having 2, hi sweetheart, and then obviously having an infant is so much different than having a 9-year-old. But as much of a life change as that was, it was beautiful and wonderful and just gave me greater purpose into what I'm doing here on this earth and what God has created me to do. I've always known that I have such this maternal instinct. And so I knew deep down that somehow, some way, even though I'm 31 years old now, and honestly, when I look back at it, some people wait much longer into their 30s, or even my husband is 40, so some people wait much longer than that. But for me, it just felt like I was seeing everyone else have their turn, having kids, becoming a mom, becoming parents, and I just felt like I was waiting so long for it, and it was something I desired so badly, but I knew God wouldn't just give me that, oh, not for you, sweetheart. You keep trying to crawl towards it. I knew God wouldn't put that desire deep in my heart for no reason, He gave me those maternal instincts. He gave me that desire, and that somehow it would come to fruition. And for a while there, I thought it was just going to be through foster care and adoption. And that too was something that God had put on my heart from a very young age. I could have told you when I was in high school, maybe even earlier than that someday I wanted to do foster care and adopt. And that came to fruition first, but that was something God placed on my heart. And then as soon as that happened, then we did get pregnant naturally, which is a huge blessing that I know not everyone has. And we would love to expand our family and have that happen again. But again, that's all in God's timing. But I knew that somehow, some way, it would come to fruition because God put those desires in my heart, and God gave me those instincts. And I don't really know if you call it a talent, but that's just how I've been my entire life, of being a nurturing, taking care of people type of person. So yeah, I'm very thankful that we've been able to experience both, and I will never take that for granted. However, it is a huge life change, and you have to really learn how to put someone else before yourself. When you are a parent, you are not the number one priority anymore. You're taking care of these children. Yeah, you're playing in your dirty clothes right now. And making sure that their needs are being met, making sure that they're fed, making sure that they have clothes, buying them things, and making sure the daycare bill is paid before I can go and buy any clothes for myself. So your priorities shift, and you have to take care of others. And it's just such a beautiful glimpse into how God feels about us. I know I could never, ever truly understand the unconditional, unwavering love that God has towards all of his children. But it is, I think, becoming a parent, a very humbling, beautiful gift and a glimpse into what it's like of God's unconditional love for us, because my body physically aches thinking about anything happening to either one of my kids, and it just I that's what gives me the most anxiety. If we were talking about postpartum anxiety at all, which I did and do still go through, my hormones, I'm breastfeeding still, and obviously I have to pump while I'm at work during the day, but when I'm home, we exclusively breastfeed. I've never given her a bottle. My husband has never successfully given her a bottle. But there are a lot of hormone changes involved in that, and a lot of hormone shifts that are still going to come when I eventually wean off of that. The goal is to make it to a year, but eventually I won't be breastfeeding anymore. And I know that there are hormonal changes that come with your milk drying up, and that's constantly changing. So where was I even going with this? Now my brain is off. Oh, anxiety, postpartum anxiety. So I know that there's a lot of that postpartum anxiety that comes from that. I also know that some of that's instinctual, and that's like a gift, part of having a child. And now I feel protective, like my hormones are there to help me protect my child. It's just not meant to go in overdrive the way that it does and make me have all these intrusive thoughts that I envision the worst possible thing happening. And obviously I would never drop my child over the edge of the railing, but every time I see the back deck railing, I envision this terrible tragedy of oh my gosh, what if I was to drop her? Would I ever do that? No. But that's what postpartum anxiety does to your brain. It literally makes you just envision all of these terrible things. And to me, I think it's because I just see everything as a threat, which is terrible. I hate even saying this out loud, but I just want to comfort you if you're there too, that it's normal and it happens. And I have to like walk myself back through that of like, Elena, your mind, it's like, I'm seeing everything as a threat of what I need to protect her from. And so it's this protective instinct that we now have over our children, but it can be so debilitating at times because then I feel guilty. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I just envision that happening? That's horrible. I would never let that happen. I don't want that to happen. But you know, you get these flashes of these terrible things happening and it's very unsettling and unnerving. So if you're there, I'm so sorry because it's not fun. No, it's not. I kind of just letting her play in her dirty clothes right now in her hamper because it's entertaining her and it's fine. It's not hurting anything. Yeah, it's not fun. So I'm there with you. I'm so sorry if that's what you're going through, but let me talk through some things that have helped me get back to feeling as normal as I can 6 months postpartum. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is you're seeing me work out in this video, and this is truly only the second time that I've done a workout postpartum, and I'm doing it from my bedroom. My husband right now is, bless his heart, I'm glad he's doing this. He is like redoing our downstairs workout area. We actually got a sauna at the Home and Garden Show. He's wanted one forever. I hate them, but it's prompted, I don't like feeling hot, but it has prompted him to go through our storage workout area and really clear it out. And the basement is a mess right now because he's like got all of his childhood baseball cards, like easily 20 to 30,000 baseball cards that he's collected over the last 40 years. I mean, mostly like the first 20 years of his life, but he's going through those and trying to like get rid of ones and pick which ones he wants to keep and organize just everything that was in there for storage and then find other places. We now have a shed in our backyard, so we can store some stuff out there now. We needed to make room for the sauna. Anyways, the workout area is getting a huge facelift and it's a mess down there right now. So I couldn't work out there right now anyways. But up until this point, I don't want to say I've been using my daughter as an excuse, but she comes first and I don't take my time with her for granted with either of my children. And so if I'm home with them, I want to be present with them and want to be playing with her and spending time with her. So trying to work out was just not part of my priorities. You know, my routine would be to come home and wash dishes and bottles from the day, refill new bottles for the next day for her to take to daycare from what I had pumped at work during the day, make dinner for my family. Tonight we just did leftovers though, and then my son had to go to one of his therapy appointments, and then he's got soccer practice starting tonight, so that's where my husband and he and my son are at, which gave me time to do this. So dinner was like quick making and cleaning up because it was just leftovers tonight, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get that workout in that I've been wanting to do and maybe try to start a new routine. Not to say that this is going to happen every single day, but maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, I can make this happen and prioritize some movement because that really does bring me a lot of joy and a lot of mental clarity. Oh, you happy girl? You happy girl? And so I wanted to start prioritizing that again. Also, Target had a 40% off activewear sale yesterday, so I ordered 4 new sets and I am going to, you know, the whole like matching set thing really just like gives me a lot more motivation to work out and put on the cute set and go and do it. So not saying you have to do that and invest in that to get this, to get your pink back or start working out again. But if it's in your budget and you can afford it, it is really helping bring some spark back to my life. So just trying to find the little ways that you can do things again that you enjoy or previously enjoyed and want to try to like bring some of your own hobbies back yet. I encourage you to do it. Find ways to make it happen. I want to also say, like, give yourself grace. Don't think it all has to be perfect right now and you've got to have this perfect workout routine or book reading routine or whatever it is, but just like find little ways and pockets of time where you can start incorporating some of that back. Do my workouts look like they did pre-pregnancy? No, not at all. Like my workout today was mostly stretching and body weight activities that I could do from my bedroom while my daughter plays next to me. And I took a nursing break in between there and then went back to finish it. Like, it does not have to look exactly the same. It's not going to, because you're a mom now, and you know, your time will come again where your kids are grown out of the house and you have all the time in the world to devote back to your personal hobbies and things you want to do. But I think part of like getting your pink back is like understanding you are a mom now. It's going to look different, and that's okay. But you can find small pockets of times and ways to work back in the things that you love, that bring you joy and can, you know, kind of make you feel alive again. So workout wise, I guess that's my biggest tip of what I'm finding now. And like I said, we're just getting back into it. I have no like big routine in place. Getting up before work, not gonna happen for me. I like to sleep too much. So we're just trying to find the small pockets of times and creating realistic goals right now of moving my body and just like trying to get back into it. And eventually we can build on it and build on that stamina, just like I do with my kids at work. You know, we meet them where they're at. So meet yourself where you're at and create realistic goals. Find those small pockets of time to work things back in. The next thing, health-wise, that I want to talk about, my eating habits. So in losing the baby weight, which took like between 4 and 5 months, I was back to my pre-pregnancy weight. However, I will say my body does not look the same as it did pre-pregnancy. I've got extra skin and stretches, and it's definitely a different shape than it was before. So don't be fooled by losing all the baby weight, because it doesn't always happen for people. I do think breastfeeding helped me, and I do think prioritizing water and protein have been a huge factor in that. I love my coffee and I love my Alani energy drinks, but I have to very purposely focus on drinking a cup of water in the morning when I wake up before I have coffee, and then drinking 40 ounces of water out of my BrewMate before I allow myself to have the energy drink for the afternoon pick me up, and then continuing to prioritize water through the night and prioritize protein in my meals, whether that's prepping eggs, egg bites, egg cups, hard-boiled eggs. That's a common one for us. I just found a way to, I hate hard-boiling. I love hard-boiled eggs, but I hate the process of hard-boiling them and peeling them specifically. I feel like I lose half the egg trying to peel them because it never comes off clean. So I saw somebody use muffin tins and literally just crack the egg open and bake it like that. And it, you know, didn't have the same exact texture as a hard-boiled egg, but essentially it was the same. Yeah. And so that was really easy, and I didn't have to peel any eggs. I just cracked it once and let it be. So that I did appreciate stumbling across that recipe, and that helped this week get those eggs prepped and ready and something for me to eat with the protein. Prepping chicken ahead of time too. My parents got me one of those chicken shredders gadgets that you maybe have seen floating around Amazon for Christmas. I think it's only like $30 at most. And it's been so easy to just boil chicken and cook it that way, and then shred it, put some seasoning on it, and you can put it with pasta, you can eat it alone, you can put it on a sandwich. Like, there's just so many different ways after you've shredded the chicken to eat it as a meal. So that's been another easy way to get protein in. I am not a huge cottage cheese person because I have a dairy allergy. And so I really try to limit the amount of dairy that I have because my body suffers the consequences afterwards. But I know there's a lot of cottage cheese recipes similarly of ways to kind of fancy that up and make that a great snack or meal, depending on how you want to eat it, what you want to eat it with. So just trying to give you some ideas. But for me, focusing on water and protein have been the two biggest things as far as like getting that back in. Another hobby that I really enjoy, it used to be reading, and I haven't done a ton of that recently. It just hasn't been the top of my priority list. However, I have found that audiobooks when I'm in the car have been a great way to try to get some of that hobby back in. And so if that is a hobby that you like and you're wanting to figure out how to get that back in, audiobooks, great option. I've also been listening to a lot of podcasts while she Well, I mean, you could while your child naps if you keep noise going. What do you need, sweetheart? But while she plays is what I was going to say. So, like, she's playing here right now while I'm talking to you, and I'm just kind of, like, interacting with her as she needs help. But you could totally, if I wasn't doing this right now, I'd probably would have a podcast playing, because that is also just, like, something that I enjoy. It's like an adult activity. And, hi. It's a way for me to feel like I'm having some me time when I'm doing something with her still. Now, eventually, she's going to start hearing words and repeating them and understanding. Not that I listen to words with expletives or podcasts with expletives in it, but the content isn't going to be appropriate for her, so you might have to switch back to audiobooks. You might have to put an earbud in. If you're trying to be more present than that, then don't do that. Listen to music while your kid is playing. And you're interacting with them. Totally get that too. But for me, in this stage of life, she's 6 months old. She's just playing on the ground. She hears language, but she doesn't necessarily understand the content of what's happening in my podcast. And what I'm mostly listening to is, let's be real, Bachelor recap podcasts. So it's not that ridiculous or salacious, but yeah, I've enjoyed that, and it's helped me feel like some sense of back to being me and the things that I enjoy and love. Another thing that I've been doing, thinking about podcasts and audiobooks, my faith is really important to me, and trying to find time for faith-related time of like doing any type of devotion or reading my Bible. I've been doing the Bible in a Year plan off of the Bible app on my phone, and I've been able to, they have like basically audio version of it too that you can push play and it'll read it out loud to you. So sometimes I read it myself off of my phone. Sometimes, most of the time, actually, I would say 95% of the time. Recently, I've been just like playing it out loud in the morning when I'm getting ready or on my drive to work, and listen to it as if it's an audio book and getting it in that way. And then I've got another like recap podcast to go along with it too that I listen to afterwards. So those have been ways, like faith-related ways, that I have been getting that time in. I will say we co-sleep, and I do all contact naps with her because, like I said, I just like try to soak in every single part of being a mom and not let this time slip by at all. So doing a lot of things like laundry or reading or cleaning, like getting up to work out, like she's with me always. So that's not really an option if she's sleeping, because I'm holding her if she's sleeping, or I'm like laying next to her in the bed if she's sleeping. And you can be mad at me about that all you want, but that's what works for us. That's what helps us to get our time in together. And honestly, I get better sleep that way because I nurse her, and then I don't have to like get up. I don't have to get up and make a bottle. Like I can lay down and nurse her and continue. We can both continue through the night. She gets better sleep because she doesn't have to wake completely up to wake me up and let me know she's hungry and needs to nurse some more. So that's what works for us. And I just have learned more and more as time goes on and this motherhood journey goes on. You do what's best for you, and what works for your family, and what works for one family doesn't work for the next. And there's no one right or wrong way to do all of this, because every child is different too. And you have to do what works for you and your children and your family. So please trust your motherly instinct, and do not let other people poo-poo you, put you down, or tell you what you need to be doing, because you know what is best for your child, and you know what you're doing. You know more than you think you do. Okay, I want to wrap this all up because I want to actually go and interact with my child some more. There's some really great women's basketball games playing, even though my Hawkeyes lost today, and that was really, really sad. But some games I'm still interested in and want to keep watching. So, and it's a Bachelor finale tonight, so yeah, I want to watch that too. I just want to say, you are doing a wonderful job being a mother. I know it can be so hard and it can be exhausting. It is exhausting. It was not meant to be easy. I truly do, believe, even though I'm a working mom, if I had it my way, I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. Just financially, that's not an option for our family right now, which is fine. But, if you are exhausted trying to do it all, it's because we were never meant to do it all alone. I feel in my heart of hearts that we were made to be moms. And, we're trying to be moms as if we don't have a job. And we're supposed to work and have our job and be an employee at work as if we're not moms, and somehow we're supposed to do both as if that's our only responsibility, and it's not. And so trying to figure out how to balance it all is really hard. And so if you feel exhausted, it's because it is exhausting. Like, no one said it was easy. It's not. So I'm with you there in that. But I hope at least hearing you're not alone and hearing me talk through some of these struggles maybe that I've had and how how I figured out how to work through them is encouraging to you, and hopefully you can find pockets of time where you can, whether it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, or find a way to play some music. Here, I'm almost done, sweetie. Whether it's play some music, play a podcast, play an audiobook, work out, move your body for 10 minutes, because that's how much time you have. Like, it doesn't need to be all or nothing, and it doesn't have to look exactly the way it did pre-pregnancy and pre-kids. It's probably not going to. If you have a child that sleeps really well and you can get a workout in before they wake up, that is wonderful for you. I'm so happy for you. If you have a babysitter who's able to come so you can go to the gym for an hour a couple times a week, wonderful. I'm so happy for you. That's just not my situation. And so for me, this is how I'm finding ways to do the things that I enjoy still, find time for me while balancing being a working mom, having 2 kids, trying to keep the house clean. Oh my gosh, I didn't even touch on how I get laundry and cleaning done. I do it with her. Like, I either wear her while I'm doing it, or when I'm done with this, I'm going to go get the load of laundry that's in the dryer and bring it in here and fold it here next to her while she plays. Like, she sees me doing these things, and I think it's good for her because it's modeling for her what it is to be a wife and a mother and how we help out as a family in our home. And so it's good for her to do those things with me and to learn how to do those things. I do ask my husband to take her so that I can shower daily. Like, that, just getting a shower in was a huge task, literally for the first 5 months of her life. And now we've got a pack and play set up in here. And so now I can just roll that in a little bit and keep the door open and keep my eye on her while I'm showering. But trying to shower and get a shower in for myself was a task for the longest time. So it doesn't, all in all to say, my point is, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like it did pre-pregnancy and pre-kids. It's going to look differently. Find those pockets of time. Find what works for you. And just try to slowly work back in those things that bring you joy and make you happy. So with that, I'm going to go back to exclusively paying attention to my child. We're going to fold some laundry and watch some basketball. And that's going to be it for this video. But if you haven't already, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can see all my future teaching content. It's 95% teaching content. Sometimes I throw in a random one like this that has to do more with being a wife and mother, but mostly teaching content. So thank you for being here. If you are still watching, go ahead and put in some kind of pink emoji down there. And if you are a mom and you have any other tips on how you got your pink back or things that you do to keep up with your own hobbies and interests while still being a wife and mother and working mom, go ahead and comment that too. But thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
It's the start of